guys, welcome to Oedicast.
Today's gonna be our first and last episode of our podcast.
Do you guys remember when we read Oedipus in 10th grade?
Oh yeah, I thought I forgot about that though. Was it about that guy, like the leader of the city of Thebes, and was like blinded by his ego?
Yeah, but there's more to it actually. Oedipus is the king of Thebes. People seem to look at him as a hero, being able to save this disaster of Thebes. They think this until they see how Oedipus really acts when under pressure.
What makes him such a bad leader?
Oedipus pushes his actions on other people without even knowing the full story. He lets his emotions take over him, and it results in his bad actions. Oedipus told Tiresias, saying, "You're a wicked man. Your silence would anger a lifeless stone." While Tiresias says, "You blame me, but you do not see yourself. In your anger, you turn on me." Tiresias knows the truth, but he's letting Odysseus let his anger out on him, showing how much of a fool he is.
Now that is super sus, but it's interesting why he tries to cause issues for his own image. He decides to bring others down, to bring himself up, which displays bad leadership qualities to the people of his city. And a quote that I took from the text that he said to the prophet is, "You are the curse, the corruption of the land."
I mean, he kind of reminds me of Trump. Oedipus and Trump both don't let people have a say on things. Also, Odysseus lets people talk. If he thinks he's not in the wrong, he will make people think he's in the wrong, when he doesn't even know the actual truth.
Like politically and economically?
Bro!
Wait, you guys are right in a way, but the actions Trump has shown to the people still aren't on the same level as Oedipus. He didn't really do as bad, but Oedipus did much worse in ways because he caused genuine harm to others.
I disagree with that because Oedipus didn't pay people to stay quiet, but instead he came from people confronting him about his actions. Trump started by paying people, but Oedipus lashed out because Tiresias started confronting him. This shows how bad of a leader Oedipus is compared to Donald Trump Jr.
But Oedipus' tragedy was way worse because he killed his father and started putting the blame on others, which caused more unneeded drama, thus making the people question his authority and the position he's in.
I would agree with you on that, Tim. But alongside, another reason Oedipus was worse than Trump was because of his actions that he showed towards himself, like when he stabbed his own eyes out in front of everybody, which also shows he doesn't have good leader qualities and stuff like that.
To add more to this topic, he killed his father. In the text he said, I will not listen to the prophet." This shows that he's just stubborn as a leader as well, overall. He will always go based on his own understanding instead of the actual truth to it. And he was telling Tiresias, blaming him for the death of Laius out of anger, and he's just always blind.
Bro, what are you talking about blinded? What do you mean by blinded?
He thinks he isn't capable of doing that all because he's a king. He's blinded because of how much Hippolytus admires him, where he's just so full of himself.
He could be blinded, but favors his free will could also apply it to his actions. He didn't necessarily know that he killed his father, but he still should have owned up to his mistakes and taken the punishment. But he'd rather instead let the people of his city suffer by lying to them and doing hurtful things to them, putting the blame on them. Also, what Oedipus said to the prophet, connects to my claim, because he said, "You would provoke a man in my position. You would bring this shame upon me to make me a laughingstock."
Near, I agree, but killing his father and marrying his mother ruined fate, made the truth come out and ruin his life. He could not face the truth. Alright, but another topic we could relate Odysseus to, Oedipus to, is fate versus free will. Or it could also be applied to the ice raids going on right now, and it's ripping families apart, and it's making them go through a harsh decision, You're right, boy. And Oedipus, people have the power to choose directions in their lives, but those choices often lead to paths that feel predestined. And it is fate that the parents that were immigrants have the free will to come to America, and it's fate that their kids were born in that situation.
Personally, I disagree though. I think that it was fate for them to go to America because they wanted a better life for their children and to help their family back home.
Tyler and Neri, what do you guys think?
Personally, speaking from experience, I would have to agree with Matthew and you, because my parents came here looking for a better life and tried to make some type of money. But they ultimately decided to stay here to give me and my
a better life and give their children a better life without the worries of security or different factors like that.
I'd have to say it's fate because, like you said, Matthew, all they wanted to do was live a nice and better life for all their children. I think their journey to America was destined since the opening great opportunity was up in the air.
I would agree with Tyler, but it has to be fate because it's human nature to chase better things and want to have a better life for yourself. Wait, just look it up. It says, my children, my poor children, what is it that you want? What are you suffering from? I will do anything.
Just like when he said, quote unquote, it is fate that has struck me down, fate that is cruel.
Wait, I don't really understand what you mean.
Let me put it in hoop terms for you, my guy. It's just like when Luka left the Mavs to go to the Lakers out of nowhere, which was a surprise to absolutely everybody that is a fan of the NBA. Because the Lakers traded a injury-prone 31-year-old Anthony Davis, also known as A. Disney, to the Mavericks.
Hey Disney, he's an all-star though.
for who many thought was their franchise player.
Oh, I understand it now.
On that thought, it could be considered free will because Luka was being lazy on defense. Even though he was like crazy, like offensively, you just can't trade Luka Doncic.
That's what I'm saying, bro. You don't trade Luka Doncic. Like, you don't trade him for LeBron. You don't trade him for Victor Wembanyama. You don't trade him for nobody. He's his own superstar. But anyways, I think, yeah, that's a fair take. Luka's offensive impact was so massive.
Nope.
Luka's offensive impact was so massive
Nope.
that it almost justifies the defensive effort he put in. If he's choosing to use energy rather than just being fatigued, then I think it does come down to free will.
So free will in this case means he isn't just reacting to external forces, but is instead making deliberate trade based on what he believes will maximize his impact, right? Whether that's the right decision or not, it's the right decision for the team to debate.
In the end, whether his decisions is right or wrong for the team, free will is what may determine the outcome. And perhaps that's what free will really comes down to. Not the absence of influence, but the ability to weigh those under your influence and choose a path forward.
Yeah,
But it looks like we lost track of time, guys. Looks like Oedicast got a blast.